Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Forex Feast channel. I am your gracious host, Sunday Okigwe, here for another recap. And the title of this video is going to be the Day 3 Recap. Now, for those of you all that have been following along, you would realize that uh, there were no trades taken on this account on day 3. Okay, uh, so the plan was to see if maybe something would materialize in the London sessions or in the Asian session. Actually, no, not the Asian session, just the London session, because for the most part, the Asian session tends to be slow. I mean, not all the time, but for the most part, the Asian session is generally slow. So I was looking for the London session to produce something that we can possibly trade, but instead, what we got was more indecisiveness in the price action. But there were some areas that could have faked out, even the most seasoned trader. Okay, luckily for me, I was, taking care of other business, and I was not in front of my terminal. But if I was in front of my terminal, I might have fallen victim to a particular move that happened around the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock hour. This was around pre-London. Okay, and I'll explain. If you take a look at this area right here, okay, uh, this was the area that I was talking about on my last video when I was doing the GBP AUD analysis, and as I was talking about ways to learn how to enter into the market and where to enter into the market, and how to exit a trade once you're in a trade, and how to know the precise point to enter into a trade. If you guys have not had a chance to check out that video, please do. It's a two-part video. I might actually add some more parts to it, but for now, it's a two-part video. Um, well, basically, the gist of the video goes something like this. Price has to show you a definite break and close above a key level. Okay, and then the candles that come after that, subsequent candles, have to break above the previous candle. Okay, there has to be that strong momentum going in the direction that you're intending for it to go into, or you do not. And I repeat, you do not. And I repeat, you do not get into the trade. Okay, so what we were facing earlier on in the previous or the prior New York session, um, and I think it was just the New York session primarily. Price was dancing around this area right here. Okay, and we've already marked out this area. Okay, price went up, created this new high right here, and then started going back down. And my initial thought was, okay, well, this might actually break into resistance, because price just kept, going back down. And as you can see, how many candles are those? Those are a lot of candles right there. And none of these candles came back to break and test this high. Okay, so this was a legitimate high of the day um, yesterday. Okay, and this occurred during the New York session. Okay, so now fast forward. Okay, the Asian session happens, which is this one spike you see right here. Typically during the Asian session, there are kind of wild fluctuations in the spread. So, price tends to act a little crazy during the changeover period when you're closing New York session and you're going into Asian session. That's a typical thing that happens. Those of us that are experienced forex traders, understand that that's what happens. You don't trade. You do not trade. I don't care what's going on. You do not trade during the changeover. I mean, obviously, but even if you have a trade and it's getting ready to hit the end of the New York session, you're thinking of ways to close that trade out, especially if that New York session is closing out the week. Like for instance, today being Friday, any trades that you have that are still on, first of all, on Fridays, I don't really like to trade. But, in some instances, um, there might be setups that are just too good to be true, and you have to get involved. But in that case, if you are in a trade and it's getting ready to be the end of the New York session, typically you want to get out of that trade. You do not want to hold the trade over the weekend because things tend to happen. Price can open up, as much as 200 plus pips, below your price or above your price, and it can completely obliterate your account. Okay. I'm going to get into that in later videos. The reasons why you should never let your trades run over the weekend. Okay. There are a few exceptions. There are a few exceptions. Don't get me wrong. You never say never. But for the most part, 80%, 90% of the time, you do not want to carry trades, over the weekend. Okay. But anyway, having said that, I was going to point out the part in this structure that had I been sitting in front of the terminal, I might have actually fallen victim to. And that's this area right here. Okay. During the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock hour, something happened. Okay. As price was starting to break down, it broke. You see this 1 o'clock candle? This 1 o'clock candle broke below support. It broke below support and it closed below support. But do you guys notice what happened right there? It barely formed a wick. Now I want you guys to take a note of this, okay? Whenever a candle breaks below the support and it does not form a wick, that is a very telltale sign of an indecisive candle, okay? That is a candle that is set up to fake people out, okay? That is not a strong push to the downside. Okay, it's a weak move. It's a weak move. It's not a strong bearish candle. It's a weak bearish candle when it doesn't form a wick. Okay, listen, just take my word for it right now. Whenever you see, I don't care if it's going down or if it's going up. Okay, whenever you see a candle that does not leave a wick at the tip, okay, that's not a strong candle. Okay, that's not a strong candle. That candle has the makings of a fake out. Okay, so you should always be aware. Okay, in this situation, what you want to do is you want to drop back down to your 15-minute chart. You want to look at your RSI. You want to see where it is. Okay, you want to see if the sellers are getting exhausted. Okay, you want to add more confirmations to your process just to make sure that you are actually, things actually look the way they're supposed to look. But in this instance, no. Okay, I would not be confident about that candle. I would need one more candle to form, okay, in order to make a decision about this trade. And guess what happened? The very next bearish candle formed, and that candle was weak. Okay, that candle was weak. This candle struggled. I mean, this is a struggle candle. This candle is struggling. Right after you give me a weak bearish candle, you follow up with a struggle candle. I mean, that is very bad. Okay, so at this point right here, I'm like, no. Okay, if I even had the temptation to come in at this point, it became a hell no. I'm not going to do it. Okay, and then sure enough, the confirmation came. Okay, the confirmation came in the following candle that now opened up the London session. It opened up bearish. Okay, it opened up bearish, and then the next candle, which is the candle that we're currently in, continued to push up bearish back into the resistance zone. Okay, so what's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is always be patient. Always be patient. Okay, you should look at price movements on the chart like it's some kind of a game, like it's a movie. Okay, you should just be fascinated by how the market tries to suck you in. because certain moves that happen, they are designed to get you to come in and click the buy or click the sell. Okay? So you should just watch the markets, with a level of like fascination because you know what they're trying to do. Okay? In this instance, I am thankful that I wasn't in the trade, but if I was to get into this trade, I probably would have gotten in right around here. Okay? Because yes, even though this was a weak candle, okay, it was followed by another bearish candle. So right here, I would have just gone bearish. And right now, I would be shedding tears because, yeah, typically what you do is you set your trade and then you put your stop loss above the previous candle. So stop loss would have gone right here. As you can see, this candle right here would have just blown past that. So right there would have just been, it would have just been like I just gave the market just free money, you know? I mean, it would have been bad. So, thankfully, I didn't have any trades for day three. Um, I don't want to say that I'm not gonna have any trades for day four as well because we still have a New York session that's coming up. Anything can happen. Um, but I'm gonna be paying close attention, okay? Because I know this candle right here. Yeah, I'm not trusting this candle. Okay, the most I expect to see from this candle is a push to go and test this resistance level right here, okay, and probably reject and start heading back down. So, nothing to see here. Nothing spectacular is going to happen. I don't see that happening with this candle, okay? But, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. The next time you hear from me, it's probably going to be sometime during the New York session. I'm going to be dropping a video letting you guys know if I'm done for the week or if there's something that's worthy of me getting into a trade. Um, Chances are it's going to be the latter and not the former. I am really not, in any hurry to get into anything. I had a superb week, and I'm going to look forward to next week because next week there's going to be some news. Okay, there's going to be some news with AUD. I'm going to get into that in future videos. But there's some news coming out about AUD that might actually be the catalyst to have some movement actually take place in the markets. Okay, but until then, guys, if you're enjoying the content, okay, well, first of all, if it's your first time joining the channel, welcome, 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 welcome. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, okay, and join the other supporters that make this happen every day, okay, that make it so that I'm able to drop this content every day and bless you all like you bless me, okay. Okay, so until next time, um, I'll catch you guys later and happy trading.